maybe might have made like 18 individual mistakes. In a true, with only the third rank of the nuclear physicist perk playthrough, you take that perk and only that perk and none of the others. Rather than doing that, I spent all the perk points I'd just gotten in the last 2.5 hours. The big perks were Nuclear Physicist, of course, Action Point and Moving Target for increased AP regeneration, and 50 damage resistance when sprinting, Lockpick rank 3 to pick Master Locks, another rank of toughness, and the remaining perks aren't interesting enough to mention. You can see what they are on the poster, and none of them are combat perks. Now, finally, we're on to step 2. To use a fusion core as a weapon, you not only need a suit of power armor, you need fusion cores. I hacked into the computer inside the Museum of Freedom to find my first fusion core, and ran away back to the gas station to duplicate the fusion core. It didn't work. It was only a shot-in-the-dark idea anyway. I didn't need the power armor yet, so there was no reason to grab it. I had what I needed back at the Red Rocket. Dogmeat casually lifted all 26,000 of my leftover copper, and lost interest in helping as soon as he saw a bug. I'm gonna ask you one more question. It can be rhetorical if you like. It doesn't have to be. If I told you that I carried those thousands of pieces of copper with my bare hands from basically Sanctuary to downtown Boston with the intention of taking it to Diamond City's market, but I got lost along the way, would you believe me? At Diamond City, I plopped a literal ton of metal on Artie's counter and asked him for his biggest batteries. He had 6. Myrna had 2 more. I stored my copper in a workbench and went to Bunker Hill for a few more. Dogmeat met me there, did a cute little trick for attention. I banished him to Statue World, bought a legendary arm piece from Baldy, returned to the Museum of Freedom, entered my power armor, and couldn't figure out how to eject a fusion core. Make sure you have no grenades equipped, press the button to throw one anyway, and congratulations, it's got 5 seconds to live. Fusion cores ejected from power armor are generally pretty insanely powerful. The explosion and resulting damage to nearby enemies is on par with a mini-nuke, but on an infrequently consistent basis, enemies will not be damaged by the explosion. It's a similar problem I faced when playing Fallout 3 with the Nuclear Anomaly perk. Out in the Commonwealth, I used what remained of my fusion cores to clear the area for the Minutemen. Could not finish the job, so I blocked the doorway with my power armor and waited for Preston to help me out. The last remaining raider lacked the aiming skills required to hit me, and the mental fortitude to hurt me. After saving Preston in the end, he ran straight for my power armor, forever dooming his family to a lifetime of not being helped by me. Before returning to that armor, I slept the days away at Sanctuary to allow the vendors time to restock their batteries, obtained half a dozen more, and in the safety of my armor, I tested my fusion core against the most powerful and conveniently already found boss in Fallout 4, Swan. He had the advantage of the air being wetter than usual, while I had the advantage of being able to knock him on his ass with my leftovers. Between Cleo and Daisy, I bought 7 more fusion cores in Good Neighbor, leveled up once more for good measure, and laid waste to the Triggermen waiting in the entrance of Park Street Station. Somewhere in the depths of this subway station, I started feeling something inside me. Not a thing, a feeling. Like I was a Yoshi in the vault throwing eggs at my foes. It's all I'd ever wanted aside from selling Vault Yoshi stickers. That burning desire didn't last long. I'd come prepared with enough emotion for Nick and Ivo. These Triggermen that I didn't kill followed me down here into Nick's holding corner, and until you talk to him, he's indifferent to anyone attacking him. As it usually goes in every video I make, nothing went well down here. I only had 6 fusion cores left to escape Park Street Station. That's for all these, plus the multiple hallways and Skinny Malone. What I wanted to do was fly into the plane and find someone else who didn't require spending or hedging my penultimate. And for one level away from me. 2 luckily destroyed with killed multiple Triggermen, and with no fusion cores left in my possession, my only remaining option was to convince Skinny Malone to let us go. After another exciting round of sleeving to restock vendors and buying product, I'd gotten up to 19 fusion cores. Took a trip to the happiest place on Earth. Ran the circuit again, this time without armor for maximum efficiency, and with fusion cores out the ass, I spoke to Nick about shit. He's the element house in town. I kept locking it and pressing the door. Just got a lock. They're all over the place. In boxes, suitcases, desks, all that shit let me down in Sanctuary. Now, what if the house had a lockpick? And the lockpick, the building near the museum, had a lockpick. I found the one second Bobby made the entire world that was home. It was a pre-war treasure. I should have expected it, not planning on it. I said goodbye to my wedding ring, returned to Diamond City, walked 7 more miles, cracked my first master block, I pursued him through the fog toward Haiti. go to the war with statues that were medical and face the incident sin for the first time alongside dogs and found enemies there. As for the synthetic people, they didn't fare too well against my fusion cores, unless they did. Down here, I began piecing together the most likely reason for the fusion cores. Roll around a bit depending on where they land. It seems likely that random objects being between an enemy and the blast would shield them from harm. Another equally annoying aspect of using fusion cores as a weapon is that they add more like mines, weapons, things of the light and that window gives smarter people the ammo or it could all just be completely wrong. This legendary secret got blown onto his perfectly sculpted ass, and yet was undamaged from it. Kellogg's time is gone. I even talked to Yogi to celebrate this special occasion when I hit Kellogg and of course it killed him. Piper and Nick went through the check of good neighbors and got him from worrying. Read the line from Kellogg. I wasn't much use to anyone there, nor was I observant of Kellogg. I only turned around and Epstein said he was taking me back to the Institute, so that's not where I'm headed. I'm headed to the edge of the world. If you're not blinded by the sun or late platform reminding you of business and engagement huddle, but all this beautiful stuff that we know. Once that epic ransom of the it's right and other relevant evidence. Fix couldn't be any more practical. Just turn around. Now the sun's not in your eyes. After that plot outside Virgil's got the base of the Manosphere against the teleporter and entered my headquarters. I was lucky enough to be chosen by one of my fusion cores, were selected for a single reason, usually because they could.
Help, or Mayday, or whatever it is one says on a ring.
Hey, Rex sounds like he's gotten himself into trouble again.
I think the super mutants plan on eating me soon.
Oh yes, he's in. Is that? I appreciate.
Repeat. Oh shit! Gotta sign off. One of the super mutants is coming. Help, or
Hi.
Mayday, or
Worried
whatever.
about Rex.
Bingo.
Mayday.
Those super mutants.
Good work. I'm being held prisoner of the Trinity. I'm setting this to repeat. Oh shit!